Coming up on CityView, recent rains in Austin are helping refill area lakes, but flash floods could create some dangerous situations on the asphalt. What you can do to avoid those threats, that's next. More and more people are pedaling their way around town, but before you strap on your helmet and hop on a bike, we'll tell you what you need to know to stay safe. And Mayor Steve Adler versus Billie Jean King? Our money is on the tennis star. We'll tell you why she was in town and take you straight to the match. Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Marissa Monroy. Those stories and more, but first our top story. With the recent rains and possibly more to come, the ground is saturated. While the rains are keeping the grass green, streets could be even more vulnerable to flash flooding. Before the next storms roll through, we want to make sure everyone is aware of their surroundings. Remember, atxfloods.com is the place to go to check for flooded road closures. Austin is known for its waterways, and with heavy rains this spring, the Austin Police Department Lake Patrol is geared up for a busy summer. While a license is not required to operate a boat, APD encourages boaters to take an online boater safety course before getting out on the water. Know before you go.
You have all types of vessels out here, big ones, little ones. You have paddle boarders, you have canoers, you have kayakers. And you also have water patrol that is out here. What we look for when we're out on the lake is safety.
Hey guy, do you have life jackets?
No sir, we're getting ready to dock.
Do they have the life jacket on? Some of them do, some of them don't.
Okay, go ahead and put it up until you do.
You have to have your life jacket on. It is a citable offense. There's certain things that you need to have on board. If you don't have these things on board, that they are citable offenses. Life jackets, readily available. So here's our fire extinguisher. We know where it's at, and there's a gauge here on the bottom. There's a type 4, there'll be a square one as well. It's a throwable, that needs to be on board. You need to have a sound producing device, whether it's the horn on your boat or a whistle. Make sure that it is working. Your nighttime lights, turn them on. Make sure that they're working. Those are your red and your greens that are up front. And then here's your red light. Are you coming towards me? Are you going away from me? Are you going to make a left turn in front of me, depending if it's the red showing? Are you going to make a right turn in front of me, depending if it's the green showing? And you have to have that certificate of number. It's just like your driver's license plate on a car. This is basically the same thing.
Okay, so you're borrowing the boat from a friend, right?
Yeah.
Who's the friend's name?
And if you borrow someone's boat, make sure that you ask them.
See, none of that is actually state paperwork.
Where all the safety equipment and all the required paperwork is.
2 years.
2 years?
But the sticker's not on the boat.
Make sure that you know where everything is. That way you have a good day. We have many, many residences that live on this lake. We have a lot of visitors that come and visit the lake. With that comes a lot of noise. If you're going to play your music, play your radio.
Sign for me right there and I'll go through it with you.
We can hear it within 100 feet of your vessel. We're going to talk to you about it.
Guys, jet skis are banned.
There's a personal watercraft ban from Friday sunset till Tuesday sunrise on Lake Austin.
Stay to the right.
There is a right side and a left side to this lake. If you go upstream, try to stay on the right side. If you go downstream, try to stay on the left side. When we come to the lake, we want to have a good time, and sometimes that does include alcohol. We want everyone to make good decisions and good choices. During nighttime operation, you're going to have boaters out on the lake, and it's going to be daylight, and next thing you know, they're having such a good time. Now it's dark, and they're not anywhere close to where they need to take their boat out of the water. You have to understand that during nighttime, you have to have your running lights on. Those are your nighttime lights. Those are your greens, your reds, and your all-around white light. Don't overdo it. Don't make the wrong decisions. make it that everything is responsible.
Here's a list of safety equipment required on the boat at all times. A sound producing device like a horn or a whistle, a fully charged, readily accessible fire extinguisher, a certificate of number card issued by Texas Parks and Wildlife, an accessible Type 4 or throwable flotation device, and finally, an accessible life jacket for every person on board. Remember, children under the age of 13 and anyone riding a personal watercraft are required to wear a life jacket at all times. Now to the latest out of City Council. Rebuilding and renewal in the Onion Creek area, increasing living wage dollars and cents, letting more dogs have their day out. These are just a few of the things City Council recently approved. The city will accept more than $16 million in federal funds for the Onion Creek Forest URB Bend Partnership Project with the Army Corps of Engineers. The project will allow for the purchase and demolition of homes in the Onion Creek floodplain, rebuild the flood-damaged ecosystem, and create recreational facilities. Council also approved a resolution directing the city manager to increase the living wage for employees to $13.03 starting in 2016. The increase is at the suggestion of the living wage stakeholder group. And finally, the city is exploring options to increase opportunities to let dogs at the Austin Animal Center out of their kennels more often. The Animal Advisory Commission recommended funding for 2 temporary staff positions to provide dog walking and other activities for a minimum of 1 year. The Animal Center relies on volunteers to walk dogs in their care. Switching gears now, for people who bike, sharing the road can be a daunting experience, but with a few do's and don'ts of the road, you could turn that ride into an easy and fun adventure. It's never been a better time to ride a bike in Austin, Texas. With more than 210 miles of bike lanes citywide, traveling on 2 wheels is easy and fun, but we also want to make sure it's safe. Here's some quick tips to keep in mind before you ride around town. If you have a bell, use it and make sure people know you're nearby. Use a white headlight and red taillight at night so you can see and be seen. Do not bike and use your phone. It's the law. If possible, stay off the sidewalk to avoid pedestrian traffic. Make sure you ride in the same direction as traffic. And remember, it's okay to bike in travel lanes. Stop at all red lights and stop signs, just as you would if you were driving. Always yield to pedestrians. After all, they're our most vulnerable road users. To turn left, raise your left arm. To turn right, raise your left arm to about a 90-degree angle or just stick out your right hand. To come to a stop, put your left arm at about a 45-degree angle. Be sure to check out our webpage at austintexas.gov/active-transportation. Until next time, Austin, bike smart. You can also check out the city's Active Transportation's Facebook and Twitter pages on your screen and stay up to date with the city's bicycle and pedestrian programs. Challenge accepted. Mayor Steve Adler recently took on legendary tennis champion Billie Jean King in a tennis match. The two had a little fun battling it out at the net as the city proclaimed May 19th as Billie Jean King Day in Austin, Texas. After the match, King sat down and spoke with us about the importance of parks and recreation departments in communities like Austin.
I'm a public park kid, and it equals access. And as a child, that's the only reason I'm standing here now. Because 70% of tennis is played in Park and Rec. 70%. And if I hadn't had that opportunity, neither would have Jimmy Connors, Chris Everett, Arthur Ashe, all of us would have had a chance to be champions.
While in town, King also kicked off the 2nd season of the Austin Aces, which will be led this year by Austin resident and former world #1 tennis player Andy Roddick. That's all for this week's City View. I'm your host, Marissa Monroy. Our next episode airs June 12th. Thanks for watching.